Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1.
Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
And welcome into a Loser Monday. It's Loser Monday. Most of my teams lost. Oh, except for USF. They're doing good. They salvaged the weekend on Thursday. Thank you, USF, for doing that. Welcome into the JP Peterson Show. I am your humble host for today, along with my good friend Nick Geddes from On3 Sports. Nick, how was your weekend?
I went 0 for 3 in the football world this weekend. So,
yeah, your space knots got knocked off too at home, huh?
Yeah. I didn't get home from that game until 3:30 in the morning on Friday
The
night.
Citronauts? 3:30?
Yeah. 3:30 in the morning. We did not go live for our post show until like 1 o'clock, or no, like midnight or something. We went to like 1. So crazy weekend. But obviously, story being the Bucs, it feels like it's always a great day in Tampa Bay, because we live here and everything. And it's place on earth. The weather looks great. It's great this morning. But when the Bucs lose on a Sunday, you just kind of are like, ugh.
Yeah.
We still love
it's
Tampa
not the same
Bay,
vibe. It's not a victory Monday. It's a loser Monday. And it feels like a loser Monday. Rick is on top of it. This is the show open. Welcome to JP's group therapy session. Hi, I'm Rick. I'm a Bucs fan. Hi, Rick. Yes, it's time, as we used to call it, bitch and moan Monday. And I think we're going to have a lot of bitching and moaning going on today on this Monday. A Buccaneers season that started with such promise is morphing into the usual midseason slump. Although I think this might be a little bit different. It might be a little bit different than years past. I think this is a better team, a more talented team. Unfortunately, it just continues to be a more injured team. And that is not good. And they lost another offensive lineman, Michael Jordan filling in for Ben Bredesen yesterday. And I got to hand it to the Patriots and Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniels. They did a fantastic job. They clearly outcoached Bowles and Grizzard. I think that was obvious. But I'm not leaving this all at the feet of the coaching staff, because first and foremost, it starts with the players. And by the way, we're going to get into Bucs. We're going to get into Gators. What a disappointing performance that was at Kentucky. Wow. 38-7. And then Florida State, the score more respectable, but the performance just as bad, 24-10 to Clemson. So we'll get into all that as well. We're going to get into all the football, but we start with the Bucs, and this is, to me, this was a classic example of what I've seen a lot from Todd Bowles teams after the bye. Off, not in rhythm, just a tick off. Details not good. Mindset, hunger, fire, not the usual. It just wasn't the Buccaneers team that we've seen most of the year. And yes, Todd Bowles is 2-6 after bye weeks in his career. Now 1-3 with the Buccaneers. The only win came against a 3-14 Giants team last year. So, and he typically gives the whole team the week off. The guys that need training have to come into the building. If I'm Todd Bowles, I'm taking a serious look at my process in the bye week, because his teams do not come out and play well and play sharp. And you're playing a very good, fundamentally sound football team in the Patriots, a very well coached, very physical, very fundamentally sound, with a great quarterback. That kid is going to be one of the upper tier quarterbacks in this league, and he showed it yesterday with some incredible arm talent in multiple situations. And this is what the great ones in this league do. That throw on 4th down right before the half, that, by the way, that was the play that won the game, in my opinion. That won the game. You want to talk about a great sequence. First down, they get down to the 1-yard line. First down with 2 minutes left to play. Bucs, I think, have 2 timeouts. They make the Bucs burn 1, and then basically Drake May takes the knee on first down. Ballsy move. No question about it, but the right move, because you have confidence that you're going to get 3 downs from the 1, you're going to get a first down. Next two plays, they go hard with their whoever their lead blocker is, who does a great job, that big dude. But the Bucs stiffen up and they say no. They deny him twice. Two great defensive plays by the Buccaneers. And then fourth down, they get Antoine Winfield Jr. in the slot one-on-one with Stephon Diggs, and Jr. plays it perfect. And Drake May makes an absolutely perfect throw. Diggs goes up, high points the ball as high as he can, toe taps. I mean, tip of the cap. Tip of the cap. Two players making a great play in a crucial situation. Instead of 10-7 Bucs at the half, it's 14-10 Patriots. And to me, that's like a 14-point swing almost. And that eventually really, I thought, was the ball game because it changed the way everything else was played. And that's just a team executing to perfection. And that's not what the Bucs did. The Bucs, listen, they gave up 2 long runs. The rest of the time, they had 47 yards on, I think, 20-some carries. But you can't say that. Those 2 fits were bad fits. And they were just 2 or 3 guys not doing their job in speed. At Henderson getting up to 22 miles an hour, that speed burns. When you make a mistake like that, they make you pay. They make you pay. And that's what you saw time and time again in the crucial moments on the third down plays. They made the plays. The Bucs did not. Time and time again. And we'll go over a bunch of different plays. But to me, it was a lethargic effort. It was slack on the details. And I think Baker kind of summed it up well. And I would say, Nick, this is the first, and I don't even want to call it a crack, but this is the first time we've seen a little bit of drama on this team. And that was Baker calling out his teammates yesterday and himself. He said, it starts with me. I got to be better. I missed some passes, and he missed some crucial third down throws that he's got to make to Ibuka, a couple of them. Got to make those throws. He missed them. It's very un-Baker-like. But he also said, guys got to take pride. I think you have the opening quote there from Baker. Let's go ahead and roll that if we can.
That's what I told the team, told the offense after the game. And at some point, when the stuff comes up during the week, and whether it's mistakes or things we talk about, and then it shows up on Sundays, you have to have some pride about you. You got to have the fear of that failure, of messing up for your teammates when we talk about something. You got to have that responsibility and accountability for the guys around you and get it fixed. In tight ball games like this, when you play a good team like the Patriots, little things will get you beat. And that was the case for us on offense today. I mean, case in point, it starts with me. Some throws there that we like to have back, some more completions. The low ball that I gave Cade towards the end there, if I would have stuck it on his chest, he probably would have gotten a first down instead of having to get into a short yardage situation. So it starts with me, but everybody's got to have pride about it too.
There it is, right there. And clearly there were some things that happened during the week that were not fixed. And I would probably say a lot of that has to do with pressures, 5-man pressures up front. The Bucs, especially on that fourth down at the end of the game, that critical fourth down, they run a TE and nobody picks up the guy coming around the middle. And that's probably, I don't know if it's on Barton or Jordan, but they attacked Michael Jordan in that situation, the backup with a TE stunt. That's great coaching. Go after the weakness. And the Bucs did not pass it off well. Immediate pressure on Baker. He can't do anything. He almost pulled off a miracle getting out of that and flipping it to Rachaad White, who got tackled immediately. And listen, heads up play by the Patriots. They never quit on that play. They could have easily just thought that Baker was down. But listen, the Patriots, bad teams do that. Bad teams will do that. Start celebrating early, and then he does something crazy, and it's a first down. The Patriots are not a bad team. They're a very, very well-coached team. And you could see it yesterday in the way Vrabel, and I saw a little bit of it after the game as he was bringing all of his players in. Vrabel stands right by outside the locker room and greets every guy on the way in with something. I mean, every dude, high five, bro hug, whatever it is. I mean, he is clearly connected really closely to those players. But it was, and I think this could go one of two ways. I mean, this could be the start. Now it's 3 straight weeks. The offense has been shit. Let's just be honest. And it could go south. It could continue to go south, or they're going to have to find a way to get two guards that can play. And right now, that's not happening. Geddes came back. I thought he played really, really well. I thought they ran the ball tremendously well. Sean Tucker's the first running back to get over 50 yards rushing on this Patriots defense. I think the Bucs ran for 113 yards, and I thought they ran it really well at times. In fact, I think Grizzard should have gone to the run more than he did. I think Tucker only had 9 carries. Rachaad White had 10. They needed to be better. In that last sequence, 3rd and 3, you had plenty of time. I got to run the ball on 3rd and 3. I got to run the ball on 3rd. Although they called a play, and Baker hit K. Dotton right in the hands, and 2 guys collided on him right as the ball got there. That was a really good defensive play. It was a really good defensive play. I'm not going to call that a drop on Cade. It was a perfect throw. The ball was in his hands. It's just 2 guys hit him right at that moment. That's a tough one to hold on to. But I thought Baker did a good job on that play. But 3rd and 3, if you run it, now you got 4th and 1, 4th and 2. I don't know. Maybe even you get it in that situation. I also think 3rd and 3, you're probably going up against a light box, and you have better opportunity to run the football in that situation. And then 4th and 3, again, the quick pressure. Baker had no chance. So executing in those moments, 5-man pressure that's a TE stunt. That's something you guys should be able to pick up. And then, Baker has a little bit of time, and I don't know, they think there was a hot route crosser. He didn't even have time to get to him. So all these things in these critical moments, the 2 long runs, Levante kind of missed a tackle on it. Servassier Dennis on the second one got caught up inside. Antoine Winfield Jr. got smoked by the lead blocker. It's just you look at and it's really, really good execution. The first long run, it was really, really well blocked, and maybe a little holding in the hole. But no, the safeties took bad angles. The corner took a bad angle, and he's out the gate, and you're not going to catch him. So just time and time again, it was the Patriots out coaching. I thought Josh McDaniels called a brilliant game on a 3rd and 9. He goes toss sweep. They get out of a bad play, get into a better one, and almost broke it for a touchdown early in the game. It's just time and time again, they seemed one step ahead of the Buccaneers, and it was the Bucs that had the bye week. I mean, you should be more in tune to what the other team is doing and not get out coached when you have the extra week to prepare. So now, all of that is to say, listen, is this team dead in the water? No. Bucky's coming back. Well, we saw him on the field. He was on the sideline yesterday. He's moving around fine, so evidently it's still the shoulder issue that's keeping him out. But he's going to come back. I'm worried about the 2 inside guard spots, though, with Bredesen going down, and we don't know how serious that is, but he went out early, and they said it was a hamstring injury. So it obviously portends that's going to be a few games. They need some help at right guard. I don't know what they're going to. And this is where I know a lot of you guys were pissed off that Jason Light didn't make a move. And I think inside linebacker was a problem yesterday. Servassier Dennis had 1 tackle. Not good enough. So I think there's a lot of blame to go around, but I also think there's still 2 games up in the division since the Saints beat the Panthers. I hate to take the expectations down to, now we got to survive just to win the NFC South. That's not where this team should be, but because of injuries, that's where they're at. But I think they're going to get some guys back. It's no time to panic. These next 2 games at Buffalo. Buffalo is not playing good football. There's an opportunity to go get that game if it's not arctically cold. And then you got to go to L.A. for the Rams. That's going to be a tough one. They're a really, really good football team. But then you got 6 very manageable games. So it's not the end of the world. There's still a hell of a lot of football ahead of them. But, the Baker MVP days of swagger are gone. And there's a lot of reasons why. He's been banged up. The offensive line is not giving him any time. The Lions showed, I think, a lot of teams that if you spy him and keep him in, it's a lot tougher for this offense to maneuver. And they've got to overcome all that. And part of that's on Grizzard, but most of it's on the players to execute better. I know Grizzard's he's a really, really popular scapegoat right now. when you get right down to it, it's execution by the players, and it wasn't good enough. It was not good enough. Nick, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, there's a lot of culpability to go around here, and people who deserve some blame. And I guess like
fire away.
Like to me, like this was. Oh, hold on a second.
I got you.
Sorry about that. My headphones here are like tied to my phone, and someone was calling me, and then I like lose everything. So anyway, I had to put that one, send that one to spam. But anywho, to me, this game, I mean, this to me felt like a playoff game, and this was two really good football teams. This is a Patriots team that has won 7 games in a row now. I don't want to take what they did away from anything that the Bucs didn't do.
Absolutely.
I think they had a really good game plan. Mike Vrabel clearly and Josh McDaniels, they have that thing going in not only the right direction, but they look like a team that's primed to potentially go on a playoff run. And you look at their quarterback, Drake May, he just made more plays yesterday than your quarterback did. Their skill players made more plays than your skill players did yesterday. And that to me is the game. And it comes down to explosives. You can look at it. 55-yard rushing touchdown for Trevion Henderson, 72-yard touchdown catch by Kyle Williams, and the icing on the cake, a 69-yard rushing touchdown by Trevion Henderson. And there was also a 55-yard Mac Hollins completion that was mixed in there as well.
Yeah.
It all came down to explosives. I mean, that's really what this was. I mean, the Bucs, I don't want to say like the Bucs were like obviously the better team or anything like that, but I think the Bucs definitely, they had the advantage over the Patriots in a lot of statistical categories, except for explosives. So that's really what I point to. The offense, I mean, if you want to see a trend, probably, they've played against 4 really, really good teams so far. When you look at the Eagles, when you look at the Seahawks, when you look at the Lions, you look at the Patriots, I guess you could throw San Francisco in there as well, but they were very banged up when the Bucs played them. Take the Seattle game out of the equation, because that was the one game where, you went toe-to-toe with Seattle, and then you got the big play at the end. Eagles game, Bucs put themselves in a hole. Offense went through too long of a lull and waited too long to get back into that football game. Lions, your offense had absolutely nothing to show for itself, and you lost the explosive play battle there as well. And now against the Patriots, it's the same story. You lose the explosive play battle. Your offense for about 2 complete quarters really was ineffective. Everything after the first drive up until like late third quarter, early fourth quarter, your offense just could not get anything going. Like that's the margins right there. And when you're playing the best teams in the league, like those ones are, you're going to get beat. I mean, that's all there is to it. Everybody's going to point fingers at Josh Grizzard. I struggle just to put everything on an offensive coordinator who's in his first year doing this. He's 9 games into this, 10 games into this.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to compare him to Liam Cohen, and I get that. It's easy for everybody to do, but there's got to be some nuance to that discussion. Liam Cohen had Bucky Irving available for every game last year. Liam Cohen had all 5 offensive linemen available for every game, all but 1 last year.
That's a huge difference.
Liam Cohen had Mike Evans all for but 3 games. He had Jalen McMillan. He had all those guys available. The only one that he had to work without for a long period of time was Chris Godwin. I think this is an apples to oranges comparison when you look at those 2 guys. Literally,
totally agree.
Week 1 of the season, Josh Grizzard has not been working with his full complement of stuff. And
I agree.
You have to work your way around that. I'm not absolving him of all blame. I think you look at yesterday, there were some things that could have been better. The Bucs finally figured out a way to run the ball.
Yeah, and nobody's done that on the Patriots.
Exactly. In the most unlikely matchup where you think the Bucs would not be able to run the ball, they found a way to do it yesterday. In fact, I think they probably should have done it a little bit more. I look at the box score yesterday, and Baker threw the ball 43 times. We've had this discussion before. When Baker Mayfield has to throw more than 35 times, typically Bucs are not winning those football games. They ran the ball only 21 times, even though they averaged 5.4 yards a pop on it. Right. Sean Tucker only got 9 carries, but he averaged 6 yards per carry. He's the first running back all year to top 50 yards against this Patriots runs defense that was tops in the league. And at the end of the day, after they gave up the long pass to Mac Hollins, you're thinking, oh, well, New England's going to score here. They're going to make it a 2-score game, and that's going to be it. But you know what? One of the Bucs' best players all year long, in Tyke Smith, goes and makes a hell of a play and is able to get the offense the ball back, and they start marching down the field, and it looks like it was going to be one of those things where the Baker magic, the late game magic is going to come back. The Bucs did a good job of taking clock away, and we're going to get down there and potentially have a chance to win that football game. And you get to 3rd and 3, and to your point, that to me, like with the success you were having on the ground, you got to run the ball on one of those plays, and it had to have been 3rd and 3. Try to get the first down running the football on 3rd down. And then if you don't get it, by all means, try to throw on 4th down. On 3rd down, they throw the pass to Otten. Like you said, it was kind of a contested catch type of area there. Nothing wrong with the throw or anything, but it was definitely a tight window, and it gets blown up. And then on 4th down, unfortunately, your offensive line just gave you no shot to even do anything. And Baker tried to make a miracle out of it and actually got the ball out to Rachaad White. But that play gets blown up, and then we come back. The Bucs still had 3 timeouts and a chance to get the ball back again. And they run the ball outside, and they're not able to wrap up Trevion Henderson. And, you know, he seems like the type of player that has been waiting to get free all year long. And this was finally the game with no Ramondre Stevenson. They were able to unleash him. And you see the talent that kid has, and he's got a bright future ahead of him, and he burns you again for a second long run. Those are things like we haven't seen out of that Buck defense, is giving up those really long explosives. And that's usually what Todd preaches, is we don't want to get beat over the top. We don't want to give up long plays. We're content giving you everything in front of us and bend, not break, all that stuff. Unfortunately, the Bucs just got beat at it yesterday by a really good team. And Todd got outcoached a little bit by Josh McDaniels, who has been on a heater. So that's the way I see it. I don't think, like, you know, you lose one game in this league and everybody thinks the sky's falling.
Right.
And I understand, like, it's a fan reaction. And listen, I'm a fan too. I get it. I've been there before. I think the reaction from the Bucs fan base, if I'm being honest, has gone a little bit over the top over the last 16, 18 hours, whatever, since that game has ended. The sky's not falling. This team is 6-3. They have dealt with as many injuries as any team around the league at key spots. And the reality is nothing changed for the Bucs yesterday. Yes, they fell from the number 2 seed to the 4 seed, but the Falcons have lost 4 games in a row. They're at this point probably looking at mock drafts already. The Panthers continue to be one of the league's most perplexing teams to figure out, and they drop another one yesterday to the Saints of all teams. So the Panthers way too inconsistent.
After going up to Green Bay and winning, you lose to the Saints.
Right. They're just far too inconsistent enough to challenge this team. I think the Bucs are still going to be okay. They're still, in the grand scheme of things, on track to host another home playoff game, which is always the goal. Try to host a home playoff game. Yes, it would be nice to potentially get a first round bye, but the NFC is really loaded this year. It is what it is. But I don't think the sky's falling on this group. I think it was a very close game. It's just, unfortunately, the 2-quarter lull, like I mentioned, on offense, where you're having to sort of claw your way back into that football game. That's stuff that just can't happen against a premier opponent like New England.
I think that's very well said. I think everything that the Bucs did wrong yesterday is correctable. But again, I think it's just disappointing coming off a bye week that you play this poorly across the board. That's not supposed to happen, and it happens far too much with Todd Bowles. The way, again, giving the team the whole week off. I don't know if other teams do that. I don't. In my experience covering the Buccaneers, I don't know how many coaches. I don't think Bruce did that. I could be wrong, but I don't remember him giving the team the whole week off. I know Todd. Listen, they play hard for him, and that's part of it. And it's maybe because he does give them a lot of breaks and rest, and you need that during a long season. But you can rest and still be in the building, learning, doing stuff, staying in touch. Doing a little bit, working out, staying, is that reason why Baker was a little bit off? I asked him after the game if the oblique injury is bothering him at all. And he said, was he able to practice all week long? And he said, yes. Because sometimes if you can't throw during the week, if you have an injury, you come out on Sunday, you're going to be a little bit off. But he said that he was throwing all week, so I guess that wasn't part of it. But it just didn't look sharp. And listen, 3 or 4 passes on third down that they probably should have connected on can be the difference in a game like this. And when you play a good team and they're playing well and they're not making mistakes, you can't make mistakes.
Well, the other thing too I was going to mention, I think the most egregious thing by far that I saw from Bowles yesterday, and I think he deserves some blame his way for this, and I'm not the first one to mention this, but this rotation that he's doing every game at corner,
yes,
taking this has got to stop. This has got to stop. Jamel Dean, I understand the thought process behind this maybe coming into the season, after the whole thing that happened with Dean restructuring his contract, all that stuff,
right.
Drafting Ben Morrison. It was clear that, I get the process behind it. You want to sprinkle Morrison in there, get him ready because he's potentially going to be the future of your team next year. Well, you know what? Next year's next year. Worry about this year. And everything's changed here. Jamel Dean is playing better this year than he ever has. Dare I say elite. That's how good Jamel Dean has been.
Oh, he's finally in the league.
Yeah, and he's finally getting interceptions, making takeaways. And when he was on the field yesterday, he made big plays. Otherwise, I never heard his name, and that's a really good thing when I don't hear a corner's name. But you want to know you want to know whose name I heard a lot yesterday for the wrong reasons? Ben Morrison. Every time Jamel Dean came out of that football game, the Patriots
went after him.
Were targeting 21 constantly. How many big plays did Ben Morrison give up yesterday? And if you're going to,
he gave up the biggest play in the pass game, and that was the touchdown. Yeah,
right. And if you're so hell bent on doing this cornerback rotation, you're taking the wrong guy off the field.
Yeah.
If you want to take someone off the field, you take Zion off the field. I don't give a crap that Zion signed a contract for $35 million guaranteed. I'm here to tell you right now, Zion hadn't lived that contract this year. It's not that he's playing bad, but for what you're paying him and what you're expecting out of him, Zion McCollum has not taken a leap this season. I think that's a fair assessment to make. So if you're going to make these rotations, you can't take Jamel Dean off the field. Nope, not the way he's playing right now. That cannot happen, and it needs to stop right now. Don't worry about the future. Worry about this season. JP, you were there for it. You covered the team back then. Everybody has said this before that was there, and you were there. I don't recall Rondé Barber playing that much during his first year. I don't recall the Bucs mixing him in to get whoever, Donnie Abraham, I think he was around back then, to get him off the field or whatever. No, it didn't happen. And Rondé had a fine career. Worry about that at a different time. Until then, let's worry about this year.
Yeah, that's got to stop. I mean, I understand what they're doing, and Todd answered the question. It doesn't hold water anymore. We're not coaching. This is not college football. We're not coaching next year's team. This is the NFL, and you need your best in there at best against the best teams. And I understand you want to get him ready, but you're in a tight situation, a tight game like that. You can't give up. And listen, that's coaching. They see him on the field. They went right after him multiple times. That is not, we just got caught. They got a lucky call. No, they were going right after him. That play was called on a crosser, man-to-man. They got the coverage they wanted. They wanted him man-to-man. And he was in pretty good phase, not terrible. But then he kind of takes a bad angle and undercuts the route, and May throws it over the top, and it's out the door. Yeah, again, a crucial, that's coaching. That's all on Todd Bowles, 1,000%. It may be somewhat of an institutional organizational decision as well. So that may be what Jason Light has talked about, but whatever, that goes into the coaching realm, and it cost you big time. It cost you a huge touchdown. So listen, the Bucs defense did not play poorly for most of the game, but you gave up big plays, and that equals a poor performance. Because they ended up in touchdowns.
Yeah, and Drake May, I think, had been sacked 34 times, I think, going into this game. Listen, the Bucs, from terms of pressure, the Bucs, I think, had a 47% pressure rate on Drake May in this football game. It wasn't the lack of getting. It wasn't the lack of pressure. No, but it was there. I mean, that was the number. That was the next gen stats. 47% pressure rate on Drake May. Second most times he's been pressured all year long. So, the pressure, there wasn't a problem, but we've had this discussion with this team before. You've got to find a way to turn these into sacks. And listen, they were very close. And that play there to Kyle Williams for that long touchdown, man, Chris Braswell has maybe the best rep I've seen him have in a Buccaneer uniform. And he was right there. I mean, literally half a second away from getting to Drake May. And Drake May just some funky arm angle. I mean, he's a great quarterback. I mean, that's for him to stand in the pocket there. For him to stand in the pocket, knowing that Braswell's right there, you know, as a chance to maybe get that ball out too, because he was starting to make his throw. I mean, that's just an incredible play. And that, unfortunately, and there was another time too where Vita Vea came in and had a chance to get Drake, and he sidestepped him. 3 players meet at Drake May almost at the same time, and he gets
huge
the ball
third.
out.
That was a huge third down play too.
Yeah, that was a huge third down play. He completed it. He completed it to Mac Hollins. So they were close, but close yesterday was not going to cut it.
Multiple times that happened in that game yesterday. All right, we're going to get to all the comments here in our next segment. Appreciate you guys all jumping in. Great stuff. So we'll get to all the bitch and moaning here right after the break, and then we'll get to all the college football as well. So a lot of great comments coming up. We will do that straight away. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. The Bucs Report brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group. Go to that website, get your report. .com. They're local, they're trusted, and they get results. Also, by the great folks at Genesis of Tampa, we're still doing Jamaican hurricane relief at Genesis of Tampa. So bring your supplies over there, 801 East Bears Avenue, just off of 275. And the great folks at Gray Bull Rescue will fly it on down to Jamaica, so you know everything you bring will get right to those people who are desperately in need. And if you're looking for a new car, none better than the Genesis, folks. It's technology, luxury, and the value of these cars off the freaking charts. Go test drive one and see the deals they have over there. No payments till 2026 on new cars at Genesis of Tampa. Back in 3 with your comments. Stay with us.
Experience the art of driving at Genesis of Tampa, where luxury meets innovation and every detail is crafted for you. From the bold G70 to the refined GV80, Genesis delivers power, elegance, and technology years ahead of its time. Book service online, and our Genesis Experience Advisors will pick you up and drop off your vehicle. If available, you can enjoy a courtesy car while yours gets a complimentary interior vacuum plus a generous offer for your trade. Every new Genesis comes with the Miracle Advantage Plan, 10 years or 250,000 miles of powertrain warranty and 4 years of complimentary maintenance. Visit us at 801 East Bears Avenue or online at genesisoftampa.com. Genesis of Tampa, luxury redefined. Italiano Insurance would like to congratulate the Bucs on their 50th anniversary season. And you know what? We've been here for every season and then some, over 60 years in business. We've seen some smart coaches with great game plans, but if you don't have flood insurance or business insurance, that's a terrible game plan. That could ruin you financially. You don't want to take that L. So call 813-877-7799 and let their friendly agents quarterback your insurance and save you big money. Italiano also sponsors our FSU report every week, so go Noles! 813-877-7799 or go to italianoinsurance.com. Although it may seem tempting to go without health care insurance, the financial risk far outweighs the gain you may experience. For example, did you know if you simply broke your leg, it could cost you nearly $7,500? Put on top of that a hospital stay, you could be looking at $10,000 to $15,000. Ensuring that you don't go uncovered is so important, as according to CNBC, high medical bills are the highest contributing factor to why Americans end up taking money out of their retirement savings, or worse, find themselves filing bankruptcy. So go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. Now, depending on your income, you can get plans for zero premium. Our experts will guide you through the process effortlessly. They will shop many plans and find the one that's right for you. I called and I have full health coverage through Florida Blue for zero monthly premium. It's a free call. So why go uncovered? It's a huge risk. Go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. That's 800-669-1505. Are you having legal issues with a business partner or other legal business issues? The attorneys at Walters, Levine, and DeGrave can help. Call 800-616-0384 for a free consultation. At Walters, Levine, and DeGrave, we've redefined what a law firm can be with top-tier attorneys, personal service, and 26 years of success. From business law to civil litigation, we deliver smart, client-focused solutions. Walters, Levine, and DeGrave recently won a $6.4 million jury verdict from a large real estate developer, and they can win for you too. Walters, Levine, and DeGrave. Let's solve it together. Not attorney spokesman. For a free consultation, call 800-616-0384 or go to walterslevine.com. Offices Tampa, Sarasota.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. Hold on. Got to get everything right here. My light. There we go. We're back. And we're brought to you by the great folks at Riveters, the official bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. They had a huge crowd before the game on Sunday, Bucs brunch. They do that every Sunday for Bucs games. Check that out. They get open at 9 o'clock. So you can park over there. Saw a lot of people parking, eating, walking on over from Riveters. Great folk, a great place for happy hour as well. The food is fantastic. The staff is absolutely A1. So whatever's going on, Monday Night Football tonight, you got to watch it at Riveters. Best place in South Tampa, right there, just north of 275, next to the spaceship. You guys know where it is. All right, you want to get to some of these great comments here, Nikki?
Let's do it. We can go all the way to the top here because Bucks Basement came firing in before the show started.
He always does. Yes,
got a lot here. It says Bucks outcoached again. Seems to be something always said in the Bulls era. I know you love that guy, but can we admit that it's like 85% likely this is not the head coach to get us to Super Bowl? He continues 1-3 after a bye, and the only team he beat was Tommy DeVito disaster Giants, 1-3 in the playoffs, and the only team he beat was the Suicide Watch Eagles back in 2023.
He's not wrong. He says we're still on top of the division with the Panthers lost yesterday, but at some point, Bucs fans need to want more than first-round exits in the playoffs. When is enough, or are we the NFC Steelers?
Oh, they're not the Steelers.
If Bowles wants to show us he's changed, then he needs to win one of the next 3 games. Otherwise, we're right on schedule for the midseason slump, always under his leadership. It's a problem. Also, Servassier Dennis played the entire game almost and had 1 tackle. That's such a massive glaring issue that will cost the team in the playoffs. Shame on Light for not doing anything. Bucs Basement is usually the most negative person, but he's spot on. He's absolutely spot on. You know, if we're being objective about Todd Bowles, this is what we've gotten. And last year's first-round exit was not okay. That was not okay. That is a game you should not have lost. I know Washington was a good football team last year, but you were a better football team than them. You proved that earlier in the season against them. And it's his teams don't seem to get better as the season goes on. I know they've gone on late season runs, mostly against inferior competition. But look, you got to give him credit for winning these games and winning the division and the schedule that he's done. Has he taken his team to elite status yet? No. Was this a team that could be that team? Yes. Has it had too many injuries? Yes. So it's like there's so many things that are extenuating circumstances that you can't point directly at Todd Bowles. And he's the head coach. He always going to get more credit and more blame. That's just the way it works. I think he's coached much better this year. Obviously, in the 1-score games, he's been much better. Whether that's the game manager or whatever, it doesn't matter. That's the Bucs record. It's 6-3. With all these injuries that they had, it's 6-3. If I'm grading Todd Bowles this year, I'm going to give him a B, maybe even a B+ because of all the injuries. To have this team at 6-3 and Josh Grizzard as well, this coaching staff with all these injuries at 6-3, I got to give them a B+ because they have not had their A roster, not one game this year. I don't even think they've had their B roster.
And they're not going to. They're not going to. I mean, even yesterday, it's like you get you get Luke Geddes back, and you're like, okay, finally, we got 4 of the 5 starting offensive linemen together. Well, they had it for a drive. They had it for a drive, and it was something so fluky like that, Ben Bredesen, I mean, it was such a fluky thing that happens in his hamstring. I mean, he basically did the splits there.
It was on the extra point, right? It
was on the extra point, yeah. Like, of all things, an extra point. And it's like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. There's nothing you can really do about that. I mean, it's football. It happens. But, yeah, it sucks. I mean, and Dan Feeney and Michael Jordan and the Luke Haggards of the world, who I know is hurt right now. I mean, we get it. These guys are just not as good as they need to be. But, I mean, I think you still saw, though, from an offensive line standpoint, like, they ran the ball much better yesterday. And I think that has to be attributed to Luke Geddes. I actually thought Graham Barton got put on his ass once, I think, in the third quarter. But outside of that, I think Graham played his best game of the season at center. So maybe start us something where he's turning a corner. And he had a tough matchup yesterday against Milton Williams, by the way, who's been a beast for New England. But I know everybody doesn't want to hear the injuries excuse, and the Bucs are not going to use it, but it's a reasonable thing to say. It just is. Like, you can only take so many hits.
Oh, 100%.
On one side of the field. The defense has only taken one hit really all year for extended absence, and that's Kalijah Cansey. The offense, it's everybody. And we've talked about it. I'm not counting on Chris Godwin for the rest of the year. I'm not counting on Jalen McMillan for the rest of the year. They're really out of the equation at this point. Now that Geddes back, you're just hoping to get Bucky. And by the way, I think Bucky would make a huge impact to what you're seeing right now. A huge, huge impact to what they're doing, because that guy makes guys miss and open space. Shad White doesn't do that. He doesn't do that. So it'll get better, but they're definitely not going to be at full strength at any point this season, which is a shame.
I have to take one more. I have to plug this in. Pardon me.
I'll keep going with the comment here. Thomas Casper, kind of echoing what we were saying. Surprisingly well positioned in the NFC with so many injuries and a porous defense. I don't think it's a porous defense by any means. They, like I said, they gave up the explosives yesterday, and that was a story. Michael LaRue, the Patriots got the double, a touchdown at the end of the first half and a touchdown to start the second half. Bucs offense went from having a 3-point lead to being down 11 the next time they took the field. Yeah, that's not ideal, and that's now 4 games, I believe, this year where the Bucs have allowed a touchdown coming out of half. So, yeah, that stuff is just not ideal whatsoever. Eat Rich says the Bucs got outcoached and out quarterbacked in this game. I don't think anybody's gonna question that one whatsoever there from E Rich. Mike LaRue followed up, said Braswell doesn't have any moves or counter moves. He just locks up with the tackle like it's a walkthrough. He's given the Bucs nothing out there. They need to move on and sign someone else. I would
agree with that wholeheartedly.
This goes back to injuries again. If David Walker hadn't torn his ACL in camp, David Walker would be taking Chris Braswell's snaps. I'm pretty confident of that. And Hassan Reddick is also hurt, so Chris Braswell has no option but to play in a game like yesterday.
Yeah, but he probably got too many reps. But you got to rotate him in there. It was a hot day, but he's just a pair of shoes. We have to go back to the off season. We heard, it's going to be a big breakout year for Chris Braswell, right?
No.
No. And what was that even based on? That's a little bit of a. But I mean, what has he showed you? Like from day one, I don't think I've seen him even try a spin move, or I mean, it's just there's nothing there. He's like Velcro. He just like the commenter said, he just locks up with the tackle, and it's just like he's not even trying to get around him. It's weird. Michael, did you do this one?
No.
Why did McLaughlin keep kicking it into the end zone and giving New England the ball at the 35 every time? I'm done with this special teams coach. Special teams are clearly an afterthought. I guess they felt like the returner, and what's his name, Marvin Jones? Was it Marvin Jones? Whatever. I guess they felt he was a little too dangerous to give an opportunity to. I hate that type of give up, though. I hate that type of give up. But if that's, they didn't have any long. Remember earlier in the season, we couldn't tackle anybody on kickoff. So I guess it's better than giving it to him at the 50. But either way, it's bad. Zach Jarvis says, I hope you guys pressed Josh Grizzard hard at his press conference this week. Again, listen, I'm just, when Bredesen, that first drive looked brilliant, didn't it? And then they lose Bredesen, and it wasn't so good after that. I'm not blaming it all on the great Michael Jordan, but it's tough. It's against good teams and well-coached teams to, come up with answers offensively in terms of a game plan when you have to cut, all right, so let's run some screens. Well, screens takes great timing with your offensive linemen, right? Great technique, great timing. You need a lot of reps to do it the right way. Michael Jordan and Dan Feeney have not been working a lot with the first team in reps in terms of screen.
At that point, I will ding Josh. Why are you continuing to call him? I mean, I that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to put too much on Grizzard.
That was my point.
But yeah, that's been a blind spot for him lately. It's like the over reliance on these screens that you continue to do, and especially in big moments where it feels like they're not even trying to throw the ball past the sticks. It's like, oh, we're just going to try the screen here. The screens aren't working. They just are not working. And they don't have the blocking in front right now to make them work. And when you're throwing it to guys like Sterling Shepard or whatever, you don't have the personnel for that. So just
Sterling actually executed it pretty well, but it's more on the offensive lineman. If you don't get the timing on the offensive lineman coming out, that's where it all breaks down. And again, it's probably not something you should be calling on 3rd and 9. And to me, that was weird. There were 2 3rd and longs where he went to screenplays. Now, when you have a neophyte quarterback that you don't want in those, because that's when you get turnovers, when they try to push the ball downfield, that's when the defense baits you into things on 3rd and long. But this is not that situation. You got Baker freaking Mayfield. Now, I know he doesn't have the same targets that he normally has, but I got to give Baker Mayfield a shot on 3rd and 9. But it also might have been, again, that we were having a lot of trouble with those 5-man pressures. Yeah. We had no answer for it. And if you're 3rd and 9, 3rd and 11, they're going to go to the 5-man every single time. How do you beat that? Screenplay. So now, so this is what it gets into. And this is why it's really hard to ding coordinators like this. Everybody's like, oh, Josh Grizzard. Okay, specifically, tell me a play, and you can go to the last sequence where we thought you should have run the ball. That's one of them. But for the most part, this season, I think he's done a great job as the initial play caller with all of these injuries, and you're still 6-3. So again, E-Rich, I understand where you're coming. Was it E-Rich you said that, or no? Zach Jarvis specifically. I'm gonna I'm gonna go through the all 22 today, and then I'll have some questions for him. I'm not saying he's don't criticize him. That's not what I'm saying. But I think it's like he's a very convenient scapegoat for an offense that has a lot more issues than just him. Fair?
Yeah. And listen, I mean, even with all those issues, like Emeka Egbuka, Emeka Egbuka had he was going up against a future All-Pro and Christian Gonzalez. I mean, we knew that was going to be tough, and Emeka still found a way to get over 100 yards and get into the end zone.
113 yards. Yeah.
Tez Johnson got into the end zone twice yesterday and made plays, and Cade Otton, I thought, was the most reliable target throughout the entire game and was able to get open a handful of times. And if not for a boneheaded penalty on Sterling Shepard, Cade Otton makes the big play where he gets the Bucs down into the red zone there late. And that's a penalty that, that's a veteran player, man. You're Sterling Shepard. It's like, I just don't understand. Like, you make it so blatantly easy for the officials to make that call. And that was a big play in the football game. So,
yeah, you got to get out of the way there. You've got to get out of the way. I don't know what Sterling was thinking. Maybe he took his eye off something or whatever. He knows better than that. He knows it just, again, key execution at crucial moments was lacking. I mean, that's not I heard somebody complaining about that play and it's Josh Grizzard's fault. Like, why do you call that play? The play does not call for Sterling Shepard to stick his shoulder pad in the chest of the trip. That's not what the play is designed to do. It is a rub route, but you're taught to rub the guy, not smoke him with your shoulder. And that's why something went wrong there, because Sterling's not trying to do that. Sometimes it's like, you're running at high speed. One guy takes one spot. You think he's going to go over the top. He goes underneath, and you smash into him. It's probably more bad luck than anything. But that was the crucial play. You didn't execute. You got to be better. That's all there is to it. What else we got here? Patrick says, did we make a mistake on Barton because he seems to be struggling quite a bit this season? No, I don't think so, Pat. I think maybe he's been a little dinged up. And we got to remember it's his second full year. And we also have to remember he's playing with two different guards every freaking game. And that's hard to do. When he was with Cody Mock all the time and Bredesen, he was really good, right? He was really good. They played well together. And I'm not saying that just means those two guys were propping him up. I'm just saying as a group, they played well together. They knew each other well. They knew what to expect the other one to do. Now, this is why these other teams are running these stunts and five-man pressures in crucial situations, because they're hard to pick up for guys that haven't played well together. And listen, I know you could say, oh, those are excuses. They're excuses. They sound like excuses, but they're also reasons. You got to make the play. There's no doubt. This is the reason why they're not making a play. They made those plays when the starters were in there. And now they're not. So deductive reasoning. What's the problem? The backups. But I think Barton has had some issues this year, no question, Patrick. But I think for the most part, it's definitely not a mistake. He's going to be a really, really good player. He just needs some continuity.
Yesterday was his best game, I think, too.
Yeah, I thought so too. Michael LaRue says the Bucs would have let them score so they could get the ball back and try to put some points on the board before halftime. You can't do that before halftime. No, you can't just you can't give up points before the half. I disagree with that. Because you're getting the ball at the 30-yard line and you got the entire way to go in how much time. So I would disagree with that. Bucs Basement says we're about to play a pissed off Bills team, and is Bowles going to have his team pissed off to answer that, or will he and the team come out flat as well? I think they'll be ready to play.
They all sounded pretty pissed yesterday. You know, when Baker, we played the soundbite in the first segment, Baker calling out his team. And when you say the word, like, we got to have pride and things like that, like, I think you would agree, like, that's as pretty forward as you can get in terms of
call out.
That's a call out. Yeah.
That's a big time call out for Baker.
Yeah.
And listen,
I think he said something too about a killer instinct too. He went and used that terminology. Yeah. This is
kind of I think a really important moment for this team in this season. This is a moment. Are they going to fracture and pull apart, or are they going to take the self-criticism, pull together, and be a better football team? That's good culture teams do that, and this is a good culture team. So I think all these guys are going to look deep inside and say, yeah, this is what I'm saying, man. When you I know I could be completely wrong on this, but it's just my feeling. When you give a whole team a week off, you're taking the foot off the gas pedal. At worst case, you're putting it in neutral. You're not moving forward. It just seems to me like it's okay, take the week off, see you on Monday. And it's like, whew, as opposed to, all right, I'll see you on Wednesday. We got a lot of self-scouting to do, and we need to get better in the film room and get out on the field a little bit and fix some things that we're not doing right. This is my thought. I could be wrong. Sergio says, why the hell are you keeping your best defensive back out of the game? It's a mystery. It's not a mystery. It's not. They're trying to work Ben Morrison into taking Jamel's job. Simple as that. Greg the Crew said, I hate if not for those 4 plays talk. Good defenses don't give up huge plays. You're right. 6-5 is a real possibility. Oh, they are not going to be favored in either one of these games. So, yes, 6-5 is a real possibility, 100%. 100%. And honestly, this is where I thought they would be at the beginning of the season. I think they stole a couple games, and that's great. And that's the difference between, being a 3 seed and a 1 seed. They could still go on a roll as well. They're very capable of doing that. But, that's the man. Are you just a good team, or are you an elite team? Are you the good team of the last few years winning a crappy division, or are you an elite team?
But we can't. I just struggle to I just struggle, and I see so many people doing it, and I'm just, like I said, I'm just so confused right now. Like, everybody's saying, like, oh, this is the same old Bucs. This is just who they are under Bowles, and then this. Everybody's going. I see so many people in the comments here calling out Jason Licht and everything, and it's like, I mean, I just don't understand what people's expectations are for what this team is right now. Like, if they were fully, I hate to keep going back to injuries, but it's a real thing. If they were fully healthy right now and these issues were popping up, that's a different story. But they're not. And you want to keep saying, like, oh, these are the same old Bucs. What are you talking about? The same old Bucs lose to the Texans, lose to the Falcons, lose to the Jets, lose to Seattle. They didn't. They turned a corner there and won these one-score games. Like, this could be a lot worse right now for the Buccaneers, considering everything that's gone on. This is a marathon-type season. It's one game. They were not dramatically outplayed by any realm. They played a team that's won 7 games in a row, and by the way, has not lost a game on the road this year, by the way.
Right. Yeah.
Like, sometimes you just got to tip your caps to New England as well. Like, that's part of this. Like, it's football. If these teams played each other 10 times, I bet each team wins 5 of them. I don't think it was like some crazy big gap between what you saw yesterday. I guess I understand, like, you lose a game, it sucks, but I just feel like there is just way too much sky is falling mentality coming right now. I really do. And maybe that's just me, JP, but I just don't see it that way with this team right now.
I think there's a middle. This is not the same old Bucs team of the last few years. This is a better football team. And they have a better shot at getting to 12 wins than the other teams did. And that's still right there in front of them. So it's not the same old Bucs. But then again, they've got to go out and prove that. They've got to go out and prove that in the second half of the season, because it could very well go that way. And I think yesterday was a sum of a lot of what we saw last year. It was bad execution, bad coaching, just did not. And I didn't feel like they had the fire in the moment either. I thought the Patriots played with more energy. And that's to me is elite teams come out and win that game. Elite teams come out and play better than the Bucs did yesterday. But it's one game. It's one game. This was not there. This was, I think, honestly, even if I'm thinking of some of the losses, the Lions game was not great. It was not great. But I would put them, and this is the thing. When they go up against the really good, well-coached teams, they haven't been at their best. They beat Seattle. It's a nice win on the road. Huge win.
Great win.
Great win. Really good football team, well-coached. But more times than not, this has been their bugaboo. So let's see if they can be better moving forward. Greg DeCruz says this team is just good enough to win a bad division and lose in the first round of the playoffs. Our 3 losses are against playoff teams. The Seahawks was the only win against a good team. It's a good point. It's an excellent point. Rams can put up 50 on this defense, says Greg DeCruz again. Rotating guards is not going to get it done. I really think Light realizes that they have too many injuries this year and to make a real deep playoff run. Okay, so we talk about the inside linebacker position. That's the one I was harping on. He didn't make a deal there, and typically those deals are not ones that cost second, third round picks. They're 4th, 5th, 6th, or pick swaps. He didn't make a move. I think that was a mistake, and I think it kind of showed up yesterday in those long runs. Servassier Dennis looks like a 5th round pick. Just a guy. We thought he was better than that, but right now he's been exposed.
Generous.
Yeah. He's just a guy. And you didn't make a move on that. An offensive guard was an obvious need, but they're hard to find. They're really hard to find. So you may be right, Greg. He may think that this team's too beat up and it wasn't worth the draft picks. Sergio says, I don't see the Bucs beating a pissed off Bills team and the Rams in the West Coast on a Sunday night. No, I don't. I'm not betting on either one of those, quite frankly.
But we're acting like it's impossible that the Bucs can't do it, though. I just disagree with that. Like people saying, the Rams are going to hang 50 on this defense. Okay, Come on. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? The defense had some bad moments yesterday. For the large part of the season, the defense has been holding up their end of the bargain, and the offense has been struggling. I don't know. I don't know.
I think this is a reasonable comment here by Josh B7815. Going to lose the next 2 games. Nobody freak out. Teams have figured out how to play Baker. Still going to win the division. Don't start trying to fire people. I agree with that. I said it I said it right after the Lions game. I said, uh-oh. I saw what they did. They spied Baker, and they kind of mush-rushed him, kept him from getting up and out of the pocket, and that really short-circuited what the Bucs wanted to do. He hasn't run in 3 weeks.
No.
Has not run in 3 weeks. And that's not just because he's injured. It's because when he gets out of the pocket, he doesn't have the juice to get away from guys like he once did, whether it's the knee, the oblique, or what it is. He doesn't have that little extra. And so that's a problem. That's a problem right now. They've got to figure out how to beat teams without that. And you could say, and let me just throw this out at you, Nick. You could say in the first month and a half of the season, Baker may have been covering up for some of the deficiencies of the offense, getting out and making plays, covering up for Grizzard, covering up for the offensive line. I think there's no question about that. And now that that's been figured out, everybody has to step up and play better and help Baker. And I think that's why he was so frustrated yesterday.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
Jay Breaks F Ball says exactly why we want Bowles gone last year and Cohen instead of Bowles.
Why are we talking about this?
Didn't Jacksonville blow a big lead yesterday?
Yeah, 29-10. They were leading in the fourth quarter, and they lost to Davis Mills. So
that's bad coaching. That's bad game management right there. You should never lose that game. I didn't watch it, but just the score alone should tell you that you should never lose that game. Sergio Biltret says, at least this year we won't have to worry about losing our offensive coordinator. Bucks Basement said, hey, that Jay breaks football. I mean, Cohen is not any better. Yesterday was awful for him as well. That is true. Rick says, details, case in point, huge pass play negated by offensive pass interference on the rub route. Absolutely. Sergio Biltrat says, Cohen was much better. We averaged 30 points a game with him. Grizzard is a rookie still. Again, though, Serge, look at the injuries that Grizzard's had compared to what Cohen worked with last year. Come on now. I think this Grizzard-Cohen thing is a little bit of a scapegoat.
Even with all the issues they had yesterday in this offense, they still scored 23 points, and the Patriots came into the game giving up 18. Like you still scored more than the Patriots have given up all year. I think that's something that matters. Like it's just detail. It's just details. Like it's all small. It's I don't want to say it's just small details because small things become big things, but that's really what it is. It's details, and at least you could point to that as like we know what we need to fix. I don't think it's like a million things that are going wrong here for this football team. I think they're all correctable. And Baker, as he said, they just have to have a killer instinct and they have to take a little bit more pride. Like they get it. They understand it. And now that it's been really 4 games now, going back to the Detroit game where it's been like this, I think they're going to be very motivated to get out of this funk. I think they realize that.
Sergio says there's the difference between being a coordinator and being a head coach. Cohen, can we first of all, guys, can we spell his name right? Coen. Has imagination when it comes to calling plays, and Grizzard is very basic. Again, guys, I think Grizzard's calling the same plays. It's basically the same system, but there's certain things you can't call when you don't have a full complement of offensive linemen that have run these plays. Middle screens, outside screens, tunnel screens that take a lot of coordination.
Or people are really like, and I'm surprised we're losing sight of this because we've been watching him play for 12 freaking years and of course across different offenses, but just having Mike Evans on the field Just
Thank
having
you.
him on the field. Like, come on, man. Like it just people, I'm sorry, but you have to have two eyes on Mike Evans at all times when he's on the field.
Right.
It just changes the way that defenses can play against you.
And
It
it
just
opens
does.
up a hell of a lot more offensively that you can call and look creative when you're working off of Mike, and you know that you're going to have a safety rolled over there and a corner every single time. It gives you the other half of the field to be creative. I mean, I think you guys, I would like, here's your play sheet. You got a new right guard, a new left guard. You have no number 1, 2, or 3 receiver. Good luck. I mean, come on, guys. Let's give a little bit of deference here. And you're a first-year play caller. Bucs basement is all I'm hearing is excuses. Oh, yeah, another first-round exit. I'm glad you're okay with being the NFC version. They're not excuses, boys. They're reasons. They're reasons.
They are not the Steelers. Come on.
Yeah.
They are not the Steelers.
Kenneth McClary says, good morning, Petermans. I got a late start of the program today, so I'll be behind all day trying to catch up. Hope everybody has a marvelous Monday. That's all right, Kenneth. Just get in here, brother. Get in here. Joseph Collins, I believe, is new in here. Welcome, Joseph. Dean is playing good this year, and by the reason he is playing Morrison sometimes and taking Dean out is he knows Dean will not be here next year. I get that, but that's a situation that happens in a lot of different teams and a lot of different positions. But to Nick's point, worry about that next year. We're not doing on-the-job training this year. That's not how we do this.
Yeah, and that's the problem. They're having to do on-the-job training with Ben Morrison. You want to know why? Because he missed everything in the offseason. He missed everything. The time for him to do work for that, it passed, and he wasn't out there. Not saying it was his fault, but it is what it is. So we can't do this. We cannot do this for a team that has bigger aspirations. Can't do it.
All right. More right rudder. Good morning to you. Says, what takes this team elevate to the elite level? Feels like the Bucs have just been good the last couple of years. It hurts to say, but the Bucs fans know this team is an elite. Listen, this is something that I have zeroed in on from training camp. I specifically asked Baker Mayfield. I specifically asked Levante David. All the leaders on his team, I specifically asked them, what takes this team from good, scraping to get into the playoffs in a bad division, to elite status? What does that? And are you capable of doing that this year? And to a man, they all said yes. Of course they're going to say yes. But why? Why? We have more talent this year. We feel we've added some really nice pieces last year with Bucky and J-Mac. And, we've added some nice pieces in the draft. And this was training camp. So they'd seen that these young corners can play. And I think Ben Morrison's going to be a good player, by the way. Let's not, start crushing him all the time. He made some bad plays. One of those pass interference, by the way, was a horrible call. He's going to be okay. Is he going to be the number 1 corner in the league like Jamel Dean's playing at? No, I don't think so. But I think he'll be fine. But we shouldn't be doing on-the-job training is my point. But this elite team? Would they have all their pieces? Yes, they are an elite team. And they don't right now. And they might get some of them back. They might not. So right now, is this an elite team? No, it's not. Is this a team that would likely lose in the first round to the Rams? Yes. That's who their opponent would be. Yes. So they got to get better. And we've said that, this is how the season goes. You start off with what you have. You try to win games. People adjust to what you're doing. Keep Baker from moving out of the pocket. Now you have to adjust back to that. To do that, you have to be able to win. Elite teams can beat you in many ways. They can run the football. They can play in a track meet. They can throw the ball downfield. They can do it all. That's what elite teams do. Do the Bucs have that capability? When they're healthy. When they're healthy, they can stop the run. They can run the football. They can get explosive plays. They have everything you need when they're healthy. Right now, they're not. And they're not an elite team right now. They're just a good team. And until they get Bucky back and get Godwin going, if that happens, and I'm really concerned about the offensive line. If Jordan and Dan Feeney have to be better, they got to be way better than what we saw yesterday. So All right, let's take another break. We'll come back and get to we have tons of comments here. I want to get to the Florida stuff as well. Lightning got a big win over the weekend. I was there for that, so we'll talk a little Lightning and whatever you guys want to bring up. Whatever. Nick, you have some things you need to say tonight that you want to tease?
Oh, I got plenty to say about the disaster that we saw in the state of Florida in college football this weekend from the two big ones. I got plenty to say.
Really
trust me.
Yeah, really bad. All right, quick break. We'll come back on the other side. We're brought to you by the great folks at Third Generation Plumbing and American Standard Air Conditioning, Heating, and Cooling. They are the dynamic duo that will keep your house cool in the summer and nice and toasty during these cold days that we got coming up. For you, just go to their website, thirdgenerationplumbing.com. They obviously do AC, and they will get you up and running. thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Back in 3.
It's the holiday season, so come visit the wonderland of jewelry at the Gold and Diamond Source with over 25 times the inventory and selection of the average jewelry store. Guys, get your shopping done early, and if you have no idea of the trends and styles that your lady wants, that's cool. The incredible staff, led by Julie and Steve Weintraub and family, will offer up some great ideas with no pressure. They offer everything for the first-time jewelry buyer to the most exquisite selection of museum-quality pieces. Enjoy a comfortable, relaxed atmosphere and experienced staff, geologists, jewelers, and designers for all your jewelry needs. From the luxurious jewelry boxes to their VIP customer care, there's many reasons to make sure it's a Gold and Diamond Source diamond. Keep it local this holiday season. Shop online anytime at goldendiamond.com or just come by their showroom at 3800 Overton Road and always online at goldendiamond.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man Scott Jeeves. If you're going to hire an attorney, do you want some guy looking for a quick settlement and a quick buck, or do you want an attorney with some chops? Scott is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator. Been practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. He is a peer-reviewed AV preeminent rated civil trial lawyer. They just don't hand out those classifications. He's been the lead class action counsel on many complex consumer protection cases and has handled hundreds of serious personal injury cases. He's dedicated his career to protecting injured victims and is committed to vigorously representing you. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. Personal injury and personal attention. Call for a free case evaluation. That's 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. The Jeeves Law Group. Welcome to Kingmakers, home of the JP Peterson Show studio and Tampa's premier business networking and social club for members only. By day, it's an exclusive, vibrant co-working space with a stylish conference room, focus rooms, a full production studio, and an in-house marketing team. And by night, Kingmakers transforms into a sports-centric social hub with a full sports bar, golf simulator, and exclusive events. For young entrepreneurs and seasoned professionals, it's the perfect place to work hard, play hard, and make big moves in Midtown Tampa. Close the deal, celebrate the win. Only at Kingmakers. Become a member today at kingmakerstampa.com. Your business, your club. Are you looking for an honest AC and plumbing company? I mean, that's like trying to find a humble Saints fan, right? Well, try my friends at Third Generation AC and Plumbing Services. Been in business since 1995 here locally. And listen to what one of their customers said. Quote, the gentleman providing the service was exceptional, on time, knowledgeable, professional, and experienced. He was efficient, cleaned up behind himself, and did the work expeditiously. He not only repaired a sink, he repaired our toilet that was constantly running. We have used this company several times. They are awesome. Says it all, folks. Testimonials really say it all. Call 813-961-8024 for honest, fast service. 813-961-8024 or thirdgenerationplumbing.com. We also do AC.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo is my concierge doctor. He needs to be yours as well. In case you haven't noticed, your primary care physician for your insurance probably doesn't spend a whole lot of time with you, probably doesn't have your best interest in mind, probably just the insurance company's best interest. You need a health advocate these days to see through all the BS and make sure you're getting the care that you need. He'll also take time to go through your blood work, your workouts, your sleep patterns, all those things. When's the last time your primary care even asked about that stuff? It's critical for good health. And he'll also get you on the great supplements that you need to help out as well. He's done a great job with me. I highly recommend him. Chris Lugo, Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Find out what concierge medicine is all about. It's cheaper than you think, by the way. To have somebody at your beck and call to be able to just get something called in, a prescription, not having to go to urgent care, it's huge. Trust me. So get it done. BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo. All right. I want to hit a couple of great comments that we have in here. A lot of people jumping in late. TJC22, love to have you back in here, my friend. Good to see you. Said, I'm all for believing in the guys you have, but you have to ask yourself, you couldn't find a weapon for Baker or an inside linebacker or an edge on an expiring deal. Listen, I love Jason Light. I think he's done a fantastic job here. But just in my humble opinion, I think some moves needed to be made. I think this was the year to spend some of that draft capital. You drafted tremendously well. I think an inside linebacker, an interior lineman, offensive lineman, or either one of those would have been a great addition. And I think it's going to cost this team. I really do. But I have faith. And again, as a disclaimer, we don't know all the injury situations that they know. So either there were too many to overcome, or they feel like these guys are coming back and this team is good enough. What we saw yesterday was, I think there's definitely, not that you could have brought in somebody right away and struck him right in to play, a week later. Certainly that happens every week in the NFL. So these guys are pros.
I was going to say, if the Bucs acquired an inside linebacker, whoever it was, said player wouldn't have even played yesterday.
Probably not. Probably.
And I mean, Todd Bowles' system and scheme and everything that he likes to do, it's not exactly the most step right in and contribute friendly scheme that's out there. So I don't know.
I would agree.
That whole argument is moot to me, that if they had someone else in there yesterday, it would be different, because they wouldn't have.
Isn't it Anthony Walker on the Bills practice squad? He was here all offseason. I thought he played.
If he's on the Bills practice squad, given the shape their defense is in, yeah. I'm out.
Yeah, they know something. Yeah, there's something about him they don't like. So, Phil Rollerson says, on a brighter note, the Bucs don't have to worry about losing their OC. That's for sure. But again, I'm not throwing this all on Josh Grizzard. That's totally unfair. Mr. King says, this team is nothing but NFC South merchants. Winning the NFC South is like a consolation prize.
Can I make a point here real quick?
Sure.
Make a point, because Chris Cole is in the comments here and seems to be the only one that's thinking this the way I am. And he had some comments that are below here about stop being negative. He said, stop being negative. I remember when we would dream for at least 4 wins. The season is far from over, and in the dark times, we are already looking towards the draft. I wanted to point this out. And, because I guess maybe this is the reason why I'm not sky is falling. I'm not being super negative today on everything. There are things that bothered me in the game. Like, I want them to win the game. Don't get me wrong. But it's true. You would have asked me before 2020, are the Bucs ever going to win a Super Bowl in my lifetime? I would have told you hell no, because they just seemed incapable of building anything at all in my time as a fan. Like, that's where I was. But you know what? It happened. It happened within the last 5 years. And I go back again. This team's contending for stuff right now and is winning division titles. They shouldn't even be here right now. This team was left for dead going into the 2023 season. And they have found a way to open up a new window of contention. Agree? Disagree?
I agree.
They are literally, as we sit here today, even with the recent success, of all the 32 franchises that exist, the Buccaneers have the worst winning percentage in the history of the National Football League. And we are sitting here today at 6-3, atop a division, and after one game, the sky is falling. We're having a meltdown. I see you, Jeff B. Shame on us for having high standards. I hear you, but man, I struggle to be this negative for a team that is 6-3. I just do.
Well, I think people are frustrated, and I do think there's some overreaction here, but there's also some truth to it. You know, don't say, well, we sucked for 14 years, so 6-3, we should be throwing a party. That's not, and I know that's
I'm not saying throw a party.
What you're saying, but I think this. Michael Hall says, personally, I'm glad Light didn't make a deadline move because I think we're still 2 or 3 pieces away from another Super Bowl run. This feels more like the 2019's team than the 2020. I disagree with that. I think this roster, as it was constructed this year, had the ability to win a world title, win a Super Bowl. Listen, the injuries have been catastrophic. I don't think people understand this. Like, these are catastrophic injuries, and to be 6-3 and still be in the hunt is a miracle. But this team, listen, Baker is a really good quarterback, but he's got to be able to get out and make some things happen. And right now, he's not able to do that. He needs help, and he's not getting it from the interior line. There were some drops yesterday. He threw some bad balls. All of this stuff is correctable. And when they get Bucky back, that's a huge, huge chip. That's a huge one. When they get, hopefully, Godwin back. When they get, I don't know if Jalen McMillan's coming back. We don't know that. But the two things that they don't have in the wings are a better inside linebacker and an offensive guard. And those are the two places where I thought Light could help this team, and he did not. And I think that's fair criticism as we sit here right now. This team had a chance to win a Super Bowl. And
That's fine. I'll say this. If the Bucs finish out this season, host another home playoff game, and they lose in the first round of the playoffs, I'm just saying I'm going to be way more frustrated with how 2024 ended than the way 2025 ended, given everything that they're working with and everything that's happened. Is that fair?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That was a disappointment last year. It would be a gross disappointment this year. So, Michael Hall says, and yes, Grizz needs to grow as a play caller. That is a big issue. I don't think it's a big issue. I think it's an issue. I don't think it's a big issue. I think injuries and personnel are way bigger. I'm sorry. I think with what he's working with, I think he's doing a fucking great job. I really do. I don't think you people understand how hard it is to have to do what he's doing with all these pieces constantly changing. It's extremely difficult. And I think they're doing a good job. I think this narrative of that Grizzard's really bad. He's not a great play caller yet. That's not what I'm saying. But he is not the issue. He is not the main issue. With this offense, I'd put that about third or fourth right now. The number one issue is the offensive line, without question. The number one issue is the offensive line. The number two issue is lack of big-time targets for Baker Mayfield right now. Missing Godwin and Evans and J-Mac changes the complete calculation on how you call plays, how you draw up game plans, first and foremost. All of that is affected by lack of personnel.
Yeah.
And Kate Otten's been, a second or a third offensive tackle the entire year. So you've been working without your best tight end too, calling plays. I mean, come on, people. Jesus Christ. It's like, this is not easy stuff. It's not. Jeff B says, Bucs Basement, it's what happens when you think you can find a blue chip pass rusher in the 17 to 21 range of the draft. Yeah, it's difficult. It's really difficult. But if you look at the metrics, pass rush has not been one of the Bucs' problems, right, Nick? The numbers are good.
It's not. They're like top. They're near the top of the league in pressure rate, and they're near the top of the league in sacks. Like,
yeah.
I just feel like a lot of people, like, if they don't get 1 sack per drive, everybody thinks the pass rush is an issue.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. There's a lot more comments in here on the Bucs, but I'm gonna switch gears here just because we've teased this college football for a while, and a lot of people do care. I'll start with Florida State, Nick. What another disappointing performance by the Noles up in Clemson, a team that can't win on their home field, can't beat anybody on their home field. And you go up there, and it's just another carnival show. It's a clown show. Castellanos is fumbling the football exchange on the ride on the 8-yard line with the running back in a key situation. He runs out of bounds more than any. He just, listen, if you're going to be the guy who's going to be the running quarterback, you can't be sliding. And in some cases, I'm fine with it. But when you've got 2 blockers in front of you and 1 defender, you can't just run out of bounds at the 10-yard line, because that's what happened just before he fumbled the football. There were 2 other instances where he ran out of bounds way early and could have gotten a first down, and they end up punting the football. He's not accurate. He's a gamer, but he's a terrible quarterback. Terrible.
Well,
and easily defense.
He got let down though a lot in that football game.
He did.
I thought, for as much shade as I like to throw at Gus Malzahn, and I will never miss an opportunity to do it. I thought Gus called a great game in the first half. I really did. I thought plays were there to be made, and unfortunately, these players didn't make them. I mean, they schemed up a nice play to get Jalen Lucas wide open on the sideline, a play that.
Well, I think the ball was behind him. If Castellano puts that,
I'm catching that football. I'm catching that football though. But you know what, Jalen Lucas, you got like 6 running backs on this roster, and Jalen Lucas is not one of them that should be playing. So I'll call out that one. He shouldn't even be on the field. He hasn't made a play in 2 years for Florida State. And then on the 4th down play, pretty ballsy call to throw down the field there. And Castellanos hits Randy Pittman in stride. That's going to go for 6. And he just drops the football. And that's Florida State's undoing, is situationally, they are just so far off of it. And it's so embarrassing. And that to me is a reflection of a poorly coached team. These are all habits that are taught in practice. And they get out into these games and they just seem like they're so tight. When you have drops like this and you have these many mistakes and mental lapses, like that to me is a sign of a poorly coached team that comes out and plays tight.
Could not agree more. You can just see it in Mike Norvell's face. He has, and it's almost expected. It's one of those, it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're just waiting for this team to implode. And they've got some playmakers. There's no question about it. They've got some playmakers, but they just continue to drop footballs. The penalties are just the pre-snap penalties, terrible. The offensive line does things at times. If you zero in on the offensive, there's guys who aren't even blocking people, and they don't care. They do not care. A guy will get by them, and they'll just stand there like, oh, that sucked. And they stay in the game. I see this time and time again, guys making horrible, horrible plays that just continue to stay in the game. I'm trying to look this guy up.
Oh, there was a play. There was a play where Jerry Wilson made a pretty boneheaded play, and Mike Norvell goes and scolds him on the sideline, and to his credit, Jerry Wilson did not play the next series. And
Yeah.
then, but then the next series after that, Jerry Wilson's back in the football game, and he makes another mistake, and then Mike Norvell has to go at Pat Surtain, basically probably saying, "Why the hell is this guy on the field? I tried to get him off." So there's no authority out there. There's no accountability. Your boy Edwin Joseph after the game is out here tweeting, laughing emojis, after he's getting mossed in the end zone by Antonio Williams. I mean, what's funny, Edwin? What's funny?
Well, what did he do?
After the game, he went and tweeted. He quote tweeted something. He's since deleted it, but he tweeted a laughing emoji on Twitter after the game, and then he then deleted it after people were coming after him. And I'm just, what's funny, Edwin? I mean, you've been a problem all year. You got into it with your head coach. You're still allowed to be going out there on the field and make piss poor plays and piss poor effort. What's funny?
Jerry Wilson, I saw at least three times, probably 4 times in a game, where he didn't even try to tackle a guy. The old thing where the guy's running and you dive at his ankles to make it look like you're making, but you want no part of contact. I saw him do that 3 times. 3 times. Once, hey kid, that's not how we play here. Twice, you're done, bro. That's it. You're out. You're not playing the rest of the game. 3 times, you never play again. You never play again. If you're making business decisions as a senior and you think you're going somewhere, you think any NFL team's going to look at that tape and go, "Oh, I want that guy." I don't care how raw that freshman is. I don't care who he is. That guy, number 19 or 17, 19, would never play for me again. For Mickey Andrews,
And why are you tied to this guy? He's just a guy that you paid a lot of money, overpaid in the transfer portal, and it's come in and he's done absolutely Houston. He's done absolutely nothing for you. He's done absolutely nothing all year long. Like but again, this is the culture and this is the environment that you have created. Yes. I mean, when things are going rough, what do you have? You got a bunch of guys. They don't give a crap about FSU. They care about the money they're making. That's who you are. You're a transactional program. You've been that the entire time under Mike Norvell, and now everything has run out. They've won 6 of their last 20-something football games. I don't understand why Mike Norvell still has a job today. If you're going to do it at the end of the year, every other team that is serious about football and serious about turning the page on disasters has made a move already. And I would argue none of those situations have been nearly as bad as what Mike Norvell has put out there for the large majority of his time as the head coach of Florida State University. I'm tired of hearing about the contract this, the contract that. Just pull the Band-Aid off. I'm tired of watching this team continue to go have egg on their face in every game they play. And that's not a good Clemson team. That is a bad Clemson team. That team had beaten Troy, North Carolina, and some other ACC bottom feeder this season. It's not a good Clemson team. And you didn't play with them on Saturday night. And we expected it. That's the worst part. We knew it was going to happen. We had no hope.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't stress to you enough how bad this it looks so terrible on television. I can't imagine what it looks like in all the trick plays that Gus is calling. It's so high school. I mean, and they run a flea flicker and they hit it. And then I feel like Gus feels like he's got to empty the bag of every.
Well, he's still calling trick plays down 24-7 in the fourth quarter. And it's like the time for that is done. It's done. But you know what? I don't know. And I'm at a loss.
I'm watching they have a 3rd down on the goal line. It was actually Castellanos' touchdown pass to number 7.
Willie McCoy.
Yeah. He's a freshman, right? True freshman?
Good he's second year here, I think.
Second year. And so I'm watching the original routes. Nothing, no rub routes, no special zone route, not like nothing. Like what is so Castellano rolls out, the guy uncovers and he hits him in the end zone. That's the only play they got in the red zone. That's the only play they have in the red zone. And it's so frustrating to watch all of this go down. Nothing about Mike Norvell in 6 years has not been able to identify a single decent quarterback. Not one that came and left because he had too many, there not one person that he's recruited, not one quarterback has come in and done anything at Florida State. Or even the ones that have left and gone other places are not quality. So he cannot identify what a good quarterback looks like, or at least recruit one. And even these high-ranked recruits that they get, they eventually, even if they're legacy players, decommit and go somewhere else. The guy has no soul. And what I mean by that is there's nothing to attach to. You watch his post-game interviews, and he talks like a 12-year-old. He speaks like a 12-year-old. We just got to be better. We got to be better. We got to get a better opportunity. Sometimes we had open shots at, look, dude, you can't even put a sentence together. You're making $9 million a year, and you present yourself like a high school coach. Who the hell is Mike Norvell inspiring?
He's out of his depth.
I don't know what kind of climb you're talking about, bro, but you ain't climbing anywhere.
The climb, the whole keep climbing, the climb, we're building. I mean, this is, again, we're in year 6. We're in year 6. I'm over climbing. I'm over building. I'm putting the word climb next to lethal simplicity and the Florida State lore of things that I never want to hear again. Like, again, I can't continue to watch this product. And I feel like a lot of people probably didn't watch that product because, like I said, they hid that game from you. They would have rather have thrown whatever ACC game they had on ESPN that night. Yeah, Wake Forest and Virginia. They would have rather have thrown that on ESPN on Saturday night and put Clemson and Florida State on the ACC network. So, like I said, they're trying to hide the game from you, and it probably was best served because even Clemson, I don't even think Clemson walks away from that game going, wow, what a great win for us. I don't think they feel the way either because I don't think Clemson played well either, to be honest with you. It's just two bad football teams. It is what it is. I mean, I saw a stat today. They have outgained their opponent by at least 40 yards in all but one game this year. And they have FSU? Still found, in all but one game, they've outgained their opponent by 40 plus yards. And yet they have found a way to lose 5 games with this ACC schedule, games that you should be winning. And you're more talented than these teams. Like, you are more, I don't care if Virginia is 8-2. You're more talented than Virginia. You're more talented than Pitt. You're damn sure more talented than Stanford. Like, at some point, and we all know what the problems are here. I don't even know how to get worked up about it anymore. But
I think, and I don't know this to be true, but I do believe that Mike Alford, I believe decision has been made on Norvell, and I think he might even have his coach waiting in the wings. They're just waiting until firing a guy in the interim does nothing for you, really. I mean, it's done. I mean, has it helped the Gators?
I was going to say we could segue to the Gators. I mean, let's take
a quick break and we'll come back on the other side, dude. I got to get one more break in. Then we'll come back and finish up comments and do the Gators as well. We're brought to you by the great folks at the Gold and Diamond Source. It's time, folks. The holidays are actually here. God, Thanksgiving's right around the corner. And Christmas shopping is now, so get your shopping done now. The Gold and Diamond Source has a great deal going on right now. Get on in there for the lowest prices, the best, and you know it, the best staff there. Julie and Steve Weintraub, been in this business for over 40 years. Don't go to another jewelry store where you don't know what you're getting, folks. They may tell you it's a real diamond. It might not be. If you go to the Gold and Diamond Source, everything is on the up and up. You can trust those folks. So don't get screwed by some other fly-by-night and you think you're saving money. You're not. Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Overton Road, goldanddiamond.com. Back in 3.
Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com. Experience the art of driving at Genesis of Tampa, where luxury meets innovation and every detail is crafted for you. From the bold G70 to the refined GV80, Genesis delivers power, elegance, and technology years ahead of its time. Book service online, and our Genesis Experience advisors will pick you up and drop off your vehicle. If available, you can enjoy a courtesy car while yours gets a complimentary interior vacuum plus a generous offer for your trade. Every new Genesis comes with the Miracle Advantage Plan, 10 years or 250,000 miles of powertrain warranty and 4 years of complimentary maintenance. Visit us at 801 East Bears Avenue or online at genesisoftampa.com. Genesis of Tampa, luxury redefined. Italiano Insurance would like to congratulate the Bucs on their 50th anniversary season. And you know what? We've been here for every season and then some, over 60 years in business. We've seen some smart coaches with great game plans, but if you don't have flood insurance or business insurance, that's a terrible game plan. That could ruin you financially. You don't want to take that L. So call 813-877-7799 and let their friendly agents quarterback your insurance and save you big money. Italiano also sponsors our FSU report every week, so go Noles! 813-877-7799 or go to italianoinsurance.com. Although it may seem tempting to go without health care insurance, the financial risk far outweighs the gain you may experience. For example, did you know if you simply broke your leg, it could cost you nearly $7,500? Put on top of that a hospital stay, you could be looking at $10,000 to $15,000. Ensuring that you don't go uncovered is so important, as according to CNBC, high medical bills are the highest contributing factor to why Americans end up taking money out of their retirement savings or worse, find themselves filing bankruptcy. So go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. Now, depending on your income, you can get plans for zero premium. Our experts will guide you through the process effortlessly. They will shop many plans and find the one that's right for you. I called and I have full health coverage through Florida Blue for zero monthly premium. It's a free call. So why go uncovered? It's a huge risk. Go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. That's 800-669-1505. Are you looking for an honest AC and plumbing company? I mean, that's like trying to find a humble Saints fan, right? Well, try my friends at Third Generation AC and Plumbing Services. Been in business since 1995 here locally. And listen to what one of their customers said. Quote, the gentleman providing the service was exceptional, on time, knowledgeable, professional, and experienced. He was efficient, cleaned up behind himself, and did the work expeditiously. He not only repaired a sink, he repaired our toilet that was constantly running. We have used this company several times. They are awesome. Says it all, folks. Testimonials really say it all. Call 813-961-8024 for honest, fast service. 813-961-8024 or thirdgenerationplumbing.com. We also do AC.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here on this Bitch and Moan Monday. We appreciate you guys jumping aboard. We are brought to you by the great folks at Genesis of Tampa. No payments until 2026 on new cars. Also, KingmakersTampa.com, a great new private club where we produce the JP Peterson Show each and every day. Come on down and take a look at it. KingmakersTampa.com is the website. It's a shared office space and also a place where you can network and have some fun. We got a golf simulator there, a sports bar, Cool place, kingmakerstampa.com. All right, Nikki, numbers. Where do you want to go with this 38-7 debacle by the Florida Gators? I mean, they've already fired Napier, so I'm not sure what's left to do at Florida. But this is a roster, a very, very talented roster, I might add.
Yep.
That just needs to play a hell of a lot better than they played against Kentucky. I understand I thought they played really well against Georgia, and you figure, okay, go get this game against an inferior opponent. And it wasn't even close. 4 turnovers in the first half, 3 interceptions by DJ Lagway, and he gets benched for Tramel Jones, which I thought, honestly, I wasn't watching the game at the time, but when I went back and looked at it, I was like, yeah, I think at some point you just got to get him off the field. He's a 5-star talent. He can run, he can do it all. He's just completely out of sorts right now. And if you want to keep him around, which I think is going to be tough, to be quite honest, although if he keeps playing like this, who wants him?
Does Florida want to keep him around? I mean, at some point, you gotta take the 5-star attachment away from him, and you gotta evaluate who is he. And right now, he's a quarterback that has 11 touchdowns and 12 interceptions this year, in a year that he had crazy high expectations put on him. And listen, it's not all on DJ Lagway. I mean, Florida clearly has plenty of issues to go around, but given the expectations that were put on him, and maybe unfairly, but you know what? When you're a 5-star kid and you played as well as he did last year, that's the business, and that's what happens. And this is probably a move that should have happened earlier, if we're being quite honest with you. I think the idea of benching DJ Lagway is probably something they didn't want to have to stomach doing, and optically and how all of it looks. But by all means, he just seems like a player that needs to sit down and probably not play for the rest of the season, if I'm being completely honest with you. It ain't been his year. He's not going to get any better this season. And Florida, it felt like they emptied the tank against Georgia, is what that felt like to me. They emptied the tank, and that was them saying, hey, everything that we have left, we showed it against Georgia. We came up short, and going to play Kentucky on the road. I mean, Kentucky, I understand this Cutter Bowley. Since Kentucky has put him in at quarterback, he's been light years better than Zach Calzada, and Kentucky's playing better with him. But man, Kentucky's been barely able to win an SEC game over the last couple of years. Yeah, and that's his bottom feeder in the conference as it gets. And Florida didn't. It's like they had no interest in even playing that football game. There's just zero interest.
Bowley was 18 of 23 for 168 yards, very efficient. And also, they were 7 of 10 on third down, their first 10, and 2 on 2 on fourth down. I mean, this was a Kentucky offense that couldn't get out of his way most weeks. And this week, they're doing whatever they want against a Florida Gators defense that's, again, very talented. I mean, Billy Gonzalez, obviously the interim head coach. He's not going to be the head coach. We get that, but man, that's a Florida State level of a lack of caring, lack of give a shit factor right there, and that should be surprising. But I don't know, in this day and age when these players, they're so used to just not facing adversity, it's just running from it. It's like, oh, whatever, this season's done. Where am I transferring to next?
I think what bothers you if you're a Florida fan is, Auburn fired Hugh Freeze, and then they go out there and they give Vanderbilt all they can handle and have their best performance of the year. Like, those guys are still fighting, and Durkin seems to have a really good message, by the way, from what I saw after that game, of keeping those guys together. You look at Penn State and the effort they had against Indiana with Terry Smith as the interim. And by the side note, incredible football game, incredible close to that football.
One of the greatest catches I've ever seen.
Yeah, the Omar Cooper catches. You can't replicate that.
And that last drive by Mendoza. I mean, Penn State was sending the house and just smoking him every single time. Even on that play, he's getting smoked by a free runner. He stands in there, barely gets it off, and Cooper goes skywalking to get it. And then toe taps, like his left foot's coming down, and he lifts it up at the last moment to let the right – I mean, just insane play. But those are the magical plays, right, that happen when you win a national championship, right? And Penn State really had control of that game. And Mendoza was not having a great game. And he came back and he on that entire drive, he had 4 or 5 catches on that drive that were just spectacular. And by a bunch of guys, some of them that hadn't even played much. I mean, Cignetti, I mean, just coaching is everything. You look at that team and they execute so well and they play with such passion, and they're not nearly, I mean, they've got some players now. Don't think they don't, but they're not nearly as talented as a lot of these other teams. And
I got news for you. They're not as talented as Penn State.
No.
They're not. Penn State's got players all over that team that are NFL guys, and that's why, any given Saturday, you play that football game. I wasn't as surprised to see Penn State, leading that game for much of it, because Penn State's got players, and when they feel like showing up, that's what it comes down to. When you feel like showing up and giving a shit, you can play up to your potential. And that's what I was trying to say about Florida. Like, Florida's got players all over that roster who theoretically, when they want to show up, and we've seen them able to beat Texas and take Georgia all the way down to the wire. Like, that's the potential that this Florida team had. But after you do what you just did against Kentucky, you've basically just decided to wave the white flag and say, we're not interested in this season anymore. We're not going to play for Billy Gonzalez. We're just going to finish this season. And however it finishes. We'll go get ours somewhere else, or we'll welcome in the new coach and try to turn this around. But that's so disappointing for Florida. It's just very, very disappointing where these two programs have fallen, Florida and Florida State, for 2 separate reasons.
Well, I think they both are coaching. Wouldn't you say? Would you say 2 separate reasons for Florida and Florida State? What do you mean? I say because Billy Napier and Mike Norvell, I thought, were 2 different coaches who had 2 different flaws. I think Mike Norvell's talent acquisition from a high school standpoint, from a recruiting standpoint, and his culture building, I think, is a 0. Yeah. I actually think Billy Napier did a really good job of talent acquisition and putting together a roster that was capable, I think, of being a top 10 type roster in college football this year, at least. Billy Napier was just a really bad in-game coach. And you can always say that when Billy Napier was there, even though they weren't winning games, the team was always fighting for him. I mean, they fought to keep his job last year, and now he exits the building, and all of a sudden that fight's gone away. So that's why I say I think it's 2 different how they both got to this point. Yeah, I would agree with that. All right. By the way, the Lightning get a win over the Capitals on Saturday night. Nice win. They didn't play their best, to be quite honest. They got outshot 30-19, but they got a big power play goal when they needed it. That was good to see. Lilleberg got on the score sheet. Hagel with a big go-ahead goal that was set up by Dominic James. Destu had a great game with a couple of assists. Destu and Dominic James have really added something to this team, no question about it. Kucherov, I believe, he had the first goal in that one. They didn't play their best, but it was better than some of the stuff that we've seen, especially early in the season. And that's good, because they to get a win like that when you're not playing at your best, and they locked it down pretty nicely in the third period. So this Lightning team is won 6 of 7 now, I believe, and they got the Rangers coming in on Wednesday night. So now the Rangers haven't won at home, but they win on the road. They won everything on the road. They're just trying to get the hell out of New York like everybody else. Can you blame them? So with that, the Lightning are starting to round into form. Nick Paul's coming back soon, by the way. So it'll be interesting to see who's out. And they got the Panthers. They got the Panthers coming in on November 15th, or we go there. I think we go there.
The Panthers are a wreck right now.
Yeah, they are
a wreck. They are beat up. Brad Marchand at 37 years old or whatever is like the only thing keeping them afloat right now. But they're like, I think they were, last time I checked, I think they were like 26th or 27th in the overall league standings right now. So the Panthers are in a bad spot, but that's fine for the Lightning. Keep them as far away from the top of the division and make them have to play better and, continue to dig themselves a hole, right, that they have to climb out of and force them to do that. But focusing on the Lightning, I mean, this has been a remarkable turnaround, the shift from the first 6 or 7 games of the season to what you've seen in the last 7 or 8. And I mean, I know they did not play their best against Washington, obviously, but you're not always going to play your best during an 82-game season, and they're finding ways to win games. And, even what was it, that game on Thursday night or Friday night last week against Las Vegas, another premier opponent. They've beaten Vegas twice, at home and on the road this year. They also, the schedule did them no favors, having to come all the way from Vegas, get one off day, and then play a home game against a really good team in Washington. Schedule did them no favors there, I don't think. And they still found it. They still found a way to grind it out. And you mentioned Dastu and Dominic James, and I just can't get enough of talking about those two guys. It's easy to talk about what Kucherov does. It's easy to talk about what Vasilevsky does or any of the highest paid players on the team. But these are two rookies who, before the season, I don't think me or you or anybody knew who Dastu was or Dominic James.
Nobody
knew. And that line that they got going right now with Bjorkstrand and James, and I think, is it Yanni that's the other guy on that line?
No, Holmberg. Holmberg's playing with Yanni and who's
the third guy I'm missing? That's with Bjorkstrand and James right now. Is it Holmberg?
Holmberg's been playing on that line some. They're went 11-7, so they were a little different.
Yeah, maybe it gets switched up a little bit, but you mentioned Nick Paul coming back. Who comes out of the lineup? Well, it ain't Dominic James. I can tell you.
No, it better not be.
No shot. So the Lightning are in a really good spot right now. We'll see what happens with some of these injuries. I know McDonough left the game the other night, and if McDonough if it's bad enough to where he can't come back in, reasonable concern there, especially where the Lightning, they're a little thin and the back end of their defense. But
agreed.
They're in a good spot. They're in a good spot right now.
A couple more thoughts, comments here. Lee Encinosa says there's nothing wrong with this team. They've been unlucky with injuries this year. You're missing your top 3 receivers, your top running back, 2 starting offensive linemen. Just bad luck. I mean, it's true, and that's what you get at this point because of all the injuries. That's why we've said so much of how good they've been. Michael Hall says, if I were Jason Light, I'd be looking at Deuce Robinson from FSU. Call me a homer, but Deuce looks like a baby Mike Evans in the making. I would agree. That kid is phenomenal. He's a really, really good player. And he does remind me a little bit of Mike Evans. He really does. He's rangy. He's big, long strider, has great catch radius, combat catches.
That Deuce Robinson, I don't want him to get lost in the shuffle of this just nonsense that goes on with Florida State. Deuce Robinson, Jay, I think he's the best receiver that Florida State has had. I think going back to Rashad Green, I really do. I'm including Keon in that. I think Deuce Robinson's a more complete player.
I think he's better than Keon. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, he's been a. Imagine that offense without him, because a lot of times it just seems like if they're going to throw the ball,
it up to him.
Yeah, it's just like chuck that thing to Deuce and let him make a play. And more often than not, he does. And by the way, thank goodness they scored 2 plays later, but that was a touchdown the other night where Deuce held on to it against his body.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a touchdown and an incredible play at that.
Yeah, that kid. And I would look at, I know we need an edge rusher and I know we need offensive line and an inside linebacker, but
hey, receiver is going to be a need all of a sudden in the offseason again.
Yeah.
It just is. Because I don't know if this is it's not a conversation I want to have right now, but it's something that's on my mind in the back. I don't know what Mike Evans' future is. I don't think he wants to go
or Chris Godwin's.
I don't know if Mike wants to go out like this, but it's reasonable to think what is he going to be going forward? And Chris, I've already said it. I just don't know what you're getting out of Chris going forward at all. This is so many injuries that are piling up with him. McMillan, I mean, a neck fracture. I know he's really young, but that's really tough to come back from. Yeah, receiver's going to be in need again, probably in the offseason.
TJC22 says you've lost to the Eagles, Patriots, and Lions, all playoff teams with a roster that's basically a shell of itself. Sometimes injuries are just too much to overcome in a season. That's the most obvious answer, and like Occam's razor, it's probably the most correct. It just is what it is. And I think this team has done a tremendous job to be 6-3. So keep fighting. The season's not over by any means. If they can get some of these players back, I think they have a reasonable chance to advance and play well. But I think they have tremendous deficiencies at inside linebacker. If Levante goes down, geez, Pete's, forget about it. They're in a tough spot. So TJC 22 also says if you either schemed open or you get open. When the first one doesn't happen, we don't have the horses to do number 2 often enough without a real run game. Yeah, I thought the run game was good yesterday, better than I thought it was going to be. Alexander said, I wanted the Bucs to trade for Kevin Zeitler. Probably wouldn't have cost as much as an older vet that can play guard. Yeah, I think there were some opportunities there. And
that's the name I threw out.
Yes, you did. Did not pull the trigger. Rick says Norvell is only climbing up the side of his yacht after his buyout. Ouch, babe. That's probably true. All right, guys. Thanks for all the comments. We appreciate you. We will be back. Anything else?
Oh, real quick, I just wanted to make a note because I can't remember if this happened on Friday or Saturday, but the Rays declining to pick up. This is a Rays note, of course.
Yeah.
But the Rays declining to pick up Pete Fairbanks's $11 million option. I just want to say, I just want to give a thanks to Pete Fairbanks for his great service to this baseball team over the last 5 or 6 years. A guy that they picked up for scraps, and he turned into an all-star for them. Kind of a definition of how the Rays have been able to do it, right?
Right.
And I'm gonna miss his sound bites. I'm gonna miss playing.
That's for damn sure
on this show. With that being said, I don't know if you would agree. I think you probably do. I was not picking up that option. As much as I love Pete, I don't think he ever provided you safe comfort in the 9th inning necessarily. And if the Rays wanted, I think the Rays probably would have loved to have traded him, and clearly there were no takers for that option. So I think that was telling.
Yeah, I think, a lot of people are extrapolating that as, the new guys don't have any money. That's why they declined his option. I'm like, only if you're really trying to be negative can you go there. So I don't think that's the case. I think that's a baseball move that you just don't make. Now, I thought maybe you could pick it up and then trade him at $10 million. Is he worth it at $10 million? To some other teams, I thought he might be. To us, I don't think he is, especially with all the arms that we have coming back, and that he's clearly been on the decline. I think we do lose his leadership. So I thought it was, if you kept him, I thought it would be okay, but just not as your closer. And can you afford to pay not a guy who's not your closer $10 million? Probably not. You can use that money in other places. Now that's the thing. And as Neander said, we need that money for flexibility. Okay, so go take that and invest it someplace else. And I think they will. I think they will. I don't think
they opened up a lot. They opened up a lot of roster spots too with some of the releases. Meisner got released. Bob Seymour, and both those guys were DFA'd. Van Bell, I think, got released.
Yeah.
So they've opened up some roster spots in that 40 man. So curious to see if they bring up youth to fill that, or if we'll see what happens in the offseason.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, and I think they're going to fill it with some more experienced players. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. Great job, Nick. Appreciate you. Thank you guys for commenting. Hundreds of comments today. We really appreciate that. Appreciate you watching. We'll be back tomorrow. Tim will rejoin me. We'll get his thoughts on the Bucs game. And